The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Hello, Northern Ontario, and welcome to the greatest game you will ever see on any field, court, or track, flat track roller derby. My name is Mike Check. Join with me, Cranky Pants. We will be your announcers for this amazing game you're about to witness. And Cranky Pants, what are we about to witness here on the track?
Tonight is a special treat. In fact, it is the ninth season opener for Nickel City Roller Derby. And they are playing here at Carmichael Arena, which has been home for about the last 2 or 3 years. So we're going to see a mix of experienced players and rookies out here as Nickel City takes on the Motor City Madams from Durham region down Oshawa-Whitby way.
And what we're going to be seeing too, if you're new to roller derby, we're going to give you a kind of a quick thing right off the bat. What you're going to be looking for is skaters with stars on their helmets. Those are the jammers. When they pass opposing players, they're going to start racking up points. That's kind of the basics to start people off, I think you'd say.
That is the basic, and that means that the rest of their team members, the blockers, are playing both offense and defense at the same time, trying to create holes in the pack for their own jammer to get through while trying to close the gaps for the opposing jammer to get through. It's a real push and pull, and it's fast, furious, and it can be confusing if you're only watching it for the first time.
And we're going to, throughout the game, when we see things, we'll tell you what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. And also, too, we see our officiants. They've got their white and black stripes. There are things you can and can't do in derby. For instance, you can't hit people with your elbows or your fists or trip them. Just to name a few penalties, I think.
Cutting in and out of the track. You cannot, if you get knocked outside the track, you can't come in, particularly the jammer, in a higher position than the one you left. You will see frequently if a jammer gets hit to the outside or inside of the track out of bounds, the opposing players will back up. They're doing that because they know the jammer can't enter any higher than she left, and they're trying to back her up as well. So it's kind of a preventative measure while the player's out of bounds.
A mixture of offensive and defensive, which I think people who are new to derby, they think of like movies they've seen, and they're like, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of hitting and knocking people down. A lot more to it nowadays.
It's become a very much a finesse sport. In the early days, I've been in this for 13 years now.
Wow.
And in the early days, everybody was sort of struggling to find their legs. Now, it's pretty smooth, and it's very, very complex now.
And we will help explain everything you're seeing as it's happening. So it is going to be happening very soon. So let's get to it. Flat track roller derby right here at the Carmichael Arena. You're in for a treat.
Let's get started as we always do. They need the love now because they won't see it later. Ladies and gentlemen, your officials for tonight in the black and white. Here we go. Leading off, he's talking away in there like he always does. Take a skate around, Celtic Raider. Wave, wave, wave. Next up, we've got Sergeant Scrim. I believe he's wearing the number 80, or he should be. It's Karaoke. Big welcome. She has worked everything here and been a player as well. Let's hear Tree Saudats. Back on the track, a Nickel City original. Let's have a hand for El Hoare. I think this one's going to be making the most calls tonight. Let's have a hand for Dolly Ruger. And your head referee tonight, as always, he's a wonderful man. It is Silencer. Ladies and gentlemen, these are tonight's referees. All right. I don't know how many fans made the trip up here from Durham region, but thank you if you did. Everyone else, if you're just seeing them for the first time, let's have a hand for the skaters in purple from Durham region roller derby. These are the Motor City Madams. Leading off the pack, wearing number 1414, it is Natitude. In the 12-17, we've got Wicked Wench. Someone on the team knows I'm a Bruins fan. Wearing the 04, it is Bobby Gore. At 6-6-6, who else could it be but effing Lucifer? Wearing number 17, we've got Sneaky D. At number 93, it is Tequila. Wearing the 1331, it is the Duchess of Carnage. A wily veteran out there in the 252, you're going to be hearing her name a lot. Karma Screw-Ya. Wearing number 13, we've got Rambo Brights. At the 0608. And I'm sure that means something that I can't figure out right now. But let's hear it for Stitches. At number 88, another veteran out there, it is Mozilla. Wearing the 0260, it is Cherry Bomb. At number 101, let's welcome Spin Helly. Number 87 is Siren. And wearing the 1101, it is Hits and Bites. Over at the bench, your bench manager is B, and your coach is Jam Solo. Ladies and gentlemen, from Durham Region Roller Derby, these are the Motor City Madams! All right. Need to get ready for this. It's a new year. We got a new team with a new name. They are your Nichols City Roller Derby pros, all dressed in black. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome the Nichols and Dames. Leading off, wearing number 46, it is Geo Hazard. Number 35 is Malice in Wonderland. Back on the track, welcome back number 16, Smashley. Wearing the 77, the triple threat, Booty Boop. At number 56, we've got Mel Behave. Number 18 is Kitty Twister. Wearing the 84, it is Veruca Salter. At number 101, we've got Krish. Wearing the 515. I better get this right. It is Tough as Bale. Sometimes she's in town, sometimes she's out of town. Tonight she's in town. It is number 2, Red Hot. We're number 78, we got Demolition. One of the fastest players you're going to see tonight, wearing number 22. This is Wonder Woman. At the 000, a Nichols City veteran. Let's hear it for Hexadecimal. Number 3. She's gone by various names over time. Tonight she is Tia Ironass. Your coaches at the bench, nicely dressed. We've got Scotty Always Knows and Mean Mia. Ladies and gentlemen, your NCRD, Nichols and Dames. Hey, what would a season opener be without me forgetting someone? Let me make that up to her because she's actually a really close friend, too. Let's hear for 705, Hip Check Liddell. I can't promise it won't be spotless all the way through here tonight. All right, everybody, it's that time. If you are able to stand, and I would like it if you removed your headwear. Tonight's national anthem from the board. Take it, Jackie. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jackie. All right, I ask this question every time. Hopefully those of you who have been here before aren't bored by this question because it's an important one. Who here is attending flat track roller derby for the first time? Hands up. All right, we got quite a few of you. Thank you so much for coming. What you're going to find out, if you grabbed a program, there's a quick explanation in there. What you are going to find out that it is fast, it is serious, it is hard-hitting, and for those getting initiated to it, it can be very confusing. One thing I mentioned, my dad was kind enough to take me to hockey games when I was a kid. We're not from Canada originally because he saw I was interested. The best way I learned the game was by asking someone next to me if I was confused about something. People are very nice, they'll help explain it. And we're going to help explain it right now with a demonstration jam. Now you'll see the clock is set at 30 minutes. There's two 30-minute halves. The clock generally runs continuously, but within that half hour, there are several scoring passes called jams that run a maximum of 2 minutes. So when the referees are ready, the players will assemble on the track. They can hear me. All right, everybody. You'll see that each team has assembled 5 players on the track. Now I'm going to ask them each to wave as I identify them. Yeah, I just broke you up there. I'm sorry. We have a player from each team with a stripe on their helmet. Please wave your arms in the air. These are the pivots. Now in the early days of Derby, they were kind of the quarterback of the pack, but they have a special duty now. They could actually turn into scoring players at some point during the bout. If you don't know what that is, you're going to see it in real time tonight. 3 other players, no markers on their helmets. Wave your hands in the air. These are the blockers. The blockers have 2 jobs. One is to create holes in the pack for their scoring player to get through, and the other is to prevent the opposing scorer from getting through. So they're playing offense and defense at the same time. And right back here, stars on their helmets. Wave your arms in the air. These are your jammers. These are often the fastest and wiliest players on the track. They are the ones that score the points by passing the opposition. We're going to quickly show you how a jam goes. Each scoring play is called a jam. It can run a maximum of 2 minutes. So when the players are assembled and the referees are ready, they'll get the call. 5 seconds to the jam. And the players are off. The jammers are trying to find their way through the pack without taking a penalty. First one through, in this case it is Wonder Woman of the Nichols and Dames. She is the lead jammer. You'll see the referee's arm go up as he points to her, indicating she's lead. She can call off this jam whenever she likes. Next pass through the pack is when the players start scoring the points for every opposing player they pass. Wonder Woman fighting her way through the pack gets through. As she touches her hips as lead jammer 4 times, the referee will blow the whistle. That indicates that the jam is over, the players skate to their bench, and it's 30 seconds till the next set is ready to go. I know that sounds like a lot to handle. You're going to see it a lot tonight. Trust me, you'll be picking it up in no time. There are penalties that can be assessed for illegal blocking, for cutting in and out of the track, even for insubordination. A player gets 7 penalties, each one being 30 seconds long in the penalty box on turn 1. They will be ejected from the bout. Referees do have the discretion to make an automatic ejection. Generally, that's an insubordination call. So when we're ready to go, let's have a hand for these players. Let's get ready for some flat track roller derby.
The next whistle starts the jam.
5-second call. We've got Wonder Woman, number 22 in black for Nickel City's Nickels and Dames. Number 93 in purple for the Motor City Madams. That is Taikila. Yes, Taikila. Your lead jammer coming through out of turns 1 and 2. It is Taikila, number 93 in purple for the Motor City Madams. Wonder Woman seems to have taken a penalty. She's headed to the box for 30 seconds. This is what is often called a power jam. You have one jammer on the track, your lead jammer, and she's going to try and rack up those points while Wonder Woman is in the box. That's Taikila, number 93. Players trying to keep it tight coming through turn 2. We've got Hip Check, Liddell, and Smashley in there along with Hexadecimal for Nickel City. Rolling in 14-14, Natitude, trying to make short work of everything. Taikila pushed to the inside, and that's going to send Smashley off on an illegal hit. Smashley going to the box for 30 seconds. Taikila still your lead jammer and lone jammer on the track. Number 93 in purple for the Motor City Madams. Hip Check Liddell sending Taikila to the outside on turn number 3. Taikila calls the jam, and that is our first jam of this bout.
Now, one of the things that we're in between jams, 30 seconds is going to take place, and we're going to try to explain some things that have happened. A track cut penalty just happened. When you get knocked off the track, you have to come back in behind the player who knocked you out. If you come back in front of that player, that's going to be a penalty. You've given yourself an advantage, so that's why you can't do that. Also, a low block. You can't trip another player. Something to keep in mind. And back to the next jam, starting now.
Your jammer star on her helmet for Nickel City Roller Derby's Nickels and Dames. Pack keeping tight out there, coming through. Turn number 1. Fighting down the middle, we do have your lead jammer in black for Nickel City. 515 is Tough as Bales. Hard Rock to the outside there. That sends Cherry Bomb off the track on turn number 2. Tough as Bales fighting away through the middle. Geohazard, Smashy, Red Hot going down, trying to stop Cherry Bomb. Red Hot, number 2 in black for Nickel City. Cherry Bomb fixing her star out there, jamming right now. And before Cherry Bomb can hit that pack, the call comes from the bench. Tough as Bales, calling the jam.
Now, something, too, to keep in mind, we talked about the fact that jammers, as they pass opposing blockers, they'll get 1 point for passing that opposing blocker's hips. Something else to keep in mind, too, you can lap the opposing jammer. If you pass the opposing jammer, you'll actually get 5 points each time you get around. So that will really rack up the points. And remember, if you are the lead jammer, the first jammer through, you are the jammer allowed to put your hands on your hips and end the jam. And another jam kicks off just that quickly.
What they're up to tonight here at Carmichael Arena as we get into our third jam of the bout. Fighting her way through right away, that is Mel Behave, number 56 in black. Lead jammer for the Nickels and Dames. Booty Boop doing what she does best, making life very miserable. In this case for Duchess of Carnage, 1331 in purple for the Motor City Madams. No one wearing the star at the moment for Motor City. We're going to call for the use of the forearms out there. Big Booty Boop holding up Duchess of Carnage coming into turn number 3. Pushing up against each other. 1331, Duchess of Carnage fighting her way. Gets past Booty Boop. And restores the starter her helmet. We have 2 jammers back on the track. Mel Behaved had the illegal hit with the elbow, or the forearm rather. Coming through. Both jammers fighting over that pack. It's a race to get through. A couple players in the box for Nickel City. I believe Malice in Wonderland, 35, is one of them right now. Duchess of Carnage fighting her way past Booty Boop coming through turn number 3. Hard slog for these jammers. Mel Behave caught in a trap right there. Mel Behave sent down hard. Some of the damage being inflicted by Mozilla out there. Mozilla, a veteran of flat track roller derby. Mel Behave, 56, fighting her way through. 56 in black. Mel Behave jamming out there right now for the Nichols and Dames. Another hold-up as Mel Behave tries to get through. We've got the Duchess of Carnage out there taking some slow strides around the track. Mel Behave fighting her way to the outside, coming through turns 1 and 2 out there jamming star in her helmet, number 56 in black for the Nichols and Dames. And there's your jam called. Big hand, everybody. That's a full 2 minutes on the track, and it is hot down here.
So yes, that is a 2-minute jam. If nobody calls off the jam, that's going to go for a full 2 minutes. And I've played roller derby. It is so hard to skate and fight for that long. So you gotta give it up for these people and these ladies just fighting hard for you. Something else too, if you are the lead jammer and you get a penalty, you are no longer the lead jammer. And if that happens, no one can call off the jam. And that's sometimes what happens with those 2-minute jams. So definitely if you're a jammer, you do not want to get a penalty, because you want to be able to call off the jam for sure. Next jam, kicking off.
And your jam starts out there to jam right now. Demolition, 78 in black for the Nichols and Danes. So fighting her way through as the lead jammer coming out of turn 2. It is Spin Helly, number 101 in purple for Durham Region Roller Derby. Ty Aquila and Karma Skruya doing a good job of knocking Demolition around, trying to get her to stopped in one position in the track. Spin Helly getting a rough ride as well, number 101. Blockers really doing a great job on this jam for both teams. Spin Helly fighting her way through. Wonder Woman too far from the pack to challenge. And that gives Spin Helly a path through. Demolition knocked back in the pack in front of the benches. Number 78 in black out there jamming right now for Nichols City, trying to fight her way through. Gets pushed off the track to the inside. Looks like Karma Skruya, 252 in purple, got a big piece of her there. Hip check Liddell coming in with a hit that was not entirely legal. That's going to send her to the penalty box. Number 705 in black for Nichols City. Demolition, hard hit coming in from Karma Skruya. Number 252 in purple. And fighting her way past Hexadecimal. 101 Spin Helly, your lead jammer out there in purple for the Motor City Madams. Karma Skruya is going to go to the box for 30 seconds. Sent there coming out of turn 2. Karma Skruya, one of the hardest hitters you're going to see out there tonight. Hexadecimal and Smashy trying to put a stop out there with Wonder Woman getting the better of Spin Helly. Spin Helly calls the jam after being sent to the inside of the track. Another tough one out there, everybody.
And a couple more penalties that will help you describe what's going on there. One was a low block. We've seen that before. You can't trip another player. Pretty much you can't make contact below their knee. Otherwise, you get a penalty. Another one that we just saw was a forearm penalty. You cannot hit another player with your elbow, your forearm, or your fist. That will send you to the penalty box as well. And we were talking earlier about when you are a lead jammer and then you get sent to the penalty box that there is no lead jammer anymore. The match can still go for a 2-minute nonetheless.
I believe that might be Wicked Wench. I'm not entirely sure. Geohazard fails to put a stop there to your lead jammer and lone jammer on the track. We're in the 12-17 in purple for the Motor City Madams. It is Wicked Wench. Demolition back on the track, getting a hard ride coming out of turn number 2. Wicked Wench going around the outside. And it is back to the penalty box for number 78, Demolition. This is trouble for Nichols City. There's one jammer on the track. Took out a whole wall of Nichols City, Nichols and Dames there. That is number 12-17, Wicked Wench. Finally stop put the Wicked Wench there coming through turn number 3. It looks like Geohazard and Veruca Salter got the better of her coming through Veruca Salter trying to do a number coming through turn number 4. Wicked Wench number 12-17 in purple. Your jammer out there right now for Durham Region. She gets through the pack and right in front of her bench, Wicked Wench calls the jam.
Now, something we've seen here, too, we talked about the fact when another jammer gets sent to the penalty box, the other jammer is on what we call a power jam. They are the only jammer on the track, the only one getting points. Also, when they lap the opposing jammer in the penalty box, pretty much they take their point as well. So you definitely don't want to be in the penalty box. Something else to consider, the blockers then, if your jammer's in the box, you're always on the defensive. If your jammer's on the track, you're always on the offensive.
Switch in an instant. Bobby Gore wearing the 0-4 out there in purple for the Motor City Madams, star in her helmet. And there it is. Your pivot turns into a jammer with a star pass. Your new jammer in black for Nickel City Roller Derby. That is Booty Boop number 77. Right to the inside. Found that sliver of light to get through. And it looks like we have another star pass. Your new jammer in purple for the Motor City Madams. Number 1331 is the Duchess of Carnage. Booty Boop fighting away to the outside. Duchess of Carnage making it past Tia Ironass coming through turn 1. Can Booty Boop pass the wall? She did. Booty Boop, number 77, out there jamming for Nickel City. Wherever there's daylight, she'll find it, and she'll find her way through. Duchess of Carnage fending off a hit from Malice in Wonderland coming through turn number 2. And Malice in Wonderland wearing number 35 in black for Nickel City. Booty Boop still at it, 77, jamming for Nickel City. Huge hit put on Mel Behave there by Mozilla. Mozilla number 88. Out there blocking right now for Durham Region. More hits coming down. Tia Ironass and Rambo Bright hitting the deck coming into turn number 1. It is exhausting and it is tough. Duchess of Carnage running into a lot of heavy traffic coming through turns 1 and 2. And don't be fooled, all the hits here are very real. Booty Boop fighting past Mozilla and Rambo Bright coming along the straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of these players, that was another full 2-minute jam.
So it seems like I have something to say every single time. What you've just witnessed there actually twice happens. We're talking about the jammers, players with the stars on their helmets. They're the ones able to score points. If they're having trouble in the back of the pack, they can't make it through, or they're tired, they can take that star off their helmet and they can give it to the player with the stripe on their helmet. That then makes the player with the stripe on their helmet, they'll put on the star, that is your new jammer, and they will continue to score points through the jam. Next jam, kicking off.
Score getting ever closer. Nickel City Roller Derby's Nichols and Dames at 47. 66 on the board right now for the Motor City Madams of Durham Region Roller Derby. Wonder Woman, number 22 out there in black, starting her helmet to jam for Nickel City. But your lead jammer out there right now, I believe that's Ty Keela, number 93 in purple for the Motor City Madams. Steady strides, and we got a big pile up coming in turn number 2. And that's going to cause the jam to be called very early. We'll see if any points come in from that one.
And so Motor City there, they just took 2 points, and what happened, it's kind of something we like to call hit it and quit it. When you're the lead jammer, sometimes you just want to be defensive in what you're doing. So she actually came into the pack. She skated as fast as she could. She passed as many blockers as she could, and then she called off the jam. It may have only been 2, but it denied the other team any points, and sometimes 2 points can make the difference. So every point counts in this game. Back to the game.
As Bales. You'll see the referees occasionally call no pack. We'll tell you about that. Fighting her way through, your lead jammer wearing the 515 in black for Durham, or for Nickel City. That is Tough as Bales. Geohazard failing to stop. Cherry Bomb 0260 out there jamming right now in purple for Motor City. But your lead jammer in black for your Nickel City Roller, Nichols and Dames, calling that jam 515, tough as bales.
So the Nichols and Dames doing something very similar. Got through the pack, took as many points, took them all actually, took all four, called off the jam, denying the other player any points. What you also saw too in that jam is one of our referees, Silencer, yelled no pack. The blockers can't just go wherever they want. They have to stick together as a big kind of pack. If they get too far apart, no pack happens, and they can't do any blocking. And if they keep staying too far apart, someone's going to get a penalty. So stay together, blockers, and don't get penalties. Next jam happening now.
Full complement on the track. Fighting her way through, your lead jammer from Nickel City. That's Crush 101 in black. We got a real mess coming through turn number one. Malice in Wonderland up after going down. And we got, looks like Mel Behave, 56, going to the box for Nickel City. Bobby Gore fighting her way through on the straightaway. 04 in purple, jamming right now for the Motor City Madams. Crush trying to fight her way around, does get around the entire pack. And the call comes from her bench. Call that jam, and she does. With the 4 touches to the hips.
Now, Crush, the jammer for Nichols and Dames, actually did something very strategic right there. So the opposing jammer from Motor City got sent to the penalty box. Now, what Nichols City did, got as many points as they could, called off the jam. And what's going to happen then, the next jam that kicks off, the opposing jammer is still going to be in the box. So that means they get to start the jam off being the only jammer on a power jam, and that means they have a better chance of being lead jammer. Very strategic move. Back to the game.
And one of them is Bobby Gore, 04, the jammer in purple for Durham Region. We start this jam with one jammer, 22 in black for your Nickel City Roller Derby. Nichols and Dames, that is Wonder Woman. Finds route to the inside and is your lead jammer. Number 22 in black for Nickel City Roller Derby, that is Wonder Woman. Mel Behave trying to find a position there to get some blocking help going. We got an attitude taking a run, but failing to stop Wonder Woman. Number 22 in black, your lead jammer for the Nichols and Dames. Bobby Gore fighting the outside. Mel Behave getting the better of her, coming up the straightaway. Wonder Woman trying to thread the needle, doesn't quite do it. Herself sent to the outside. Hip check, Liddell, 705, having hit Bobby Gore out, trying to send her back further in the pack. Remember, when the jammer is knocked off the track, she cannot enter again in a position any higher than which she left. And that's why right now you see hip check Liddell skating backward. And we got a penalty to Wonder Woman for cutting the track.
So the jam continuing, actually, we do have a penalty to the jammer from Nichols and Dames. That's going to be Wonder Woman for a track cut penalty. Remember, you cannot enter onto the track once you've been knocked off in front of anybody who knocked you off. So definitely make sure when you get knocked off the track to come in behind the players that were in front of you before.
More twisting and turning in the pack. Bobby Gore hit to the outside, sending her further back. That's hip check Liddell, 705, and Mel Behave, 56 in black. We got Demolition and Smashley helping them out. Bobby Gore trying to find a route through. Taking a hard hit from Smashley on the straightaway. Wonder Woman faced with the same tack, going up against Durham Region. Wonder Woman fighting her way to the outside, getting past an attitude. Coming through turn number one. Bobby Gore sent down. Smashley's going to skate back to try and hold her back, but we got it. That is another full 2-minute jam, everybody. Let's have a hand for these players. It is hot on the track.
And there are lots of different penalties that can happen in this game. Another one that we just had, a hip check Liddell got what we call a destruction penalty. So we talked about the fact that the pack, all the blockers have to stay together as much as possible. If you're the reason that pack splits up, if you skate too fast forward, you break things up, or you drop too far back, you destroyed the pack, you'll get a destruction penalty. Keep that in mind. Next jam starting off.
In black for Nichols City, getting hit hard by Geohazard, Wild Wench. We do have a lead jammer, and I believe it is Red Hot, number 2 for Nickel City. Wild Wench 12-17 in purple out there jamming, star in her helmet right now for Durham Region. Red Hot sent hard to the outside. Ty Aquila with a huge hit that caused Red Hot to call that jam. And that's how you play defense right there. Number 93 in purple.
And we did see there, we saw Red Hot call off the jam. She was the lead jammer for Nichols and Dames. She scored no points, but when she calls off the jam, 4 whistles are going to happen in a row. If the opposing jammer can get any points in during those 4 whistles, she will retain them. So we actually saw Motor City take 2 points, even though the Nichols and Dames got none. She just skated as quickly into that pack as she could. Next jam kicking off in 5 seconds.
Duchess of Carnage, 13-31 out there to jam. A starter helmet in purple for Durham Region. Mel Behave, number 56 in black, doing the honors, jamming, star in her helmets for Nickel City Roller Derby. Fighting your way through, your lead jammer in purple, 13-31 for Durham Region. It is Duchess of Carnage. And with Mel Behave playing catch-up, she is forced to call that jam. No points for either team coming in on that one.
Once again, seeing a strategic play. If you think the other jammer is going to get past you and start getting points quickly, call off the jam and just, even though you got no points, neither did they. A couple other penalties we just saw was a multiplayer block. What you can do is you can be beside somebody, make a nice tight wall for the jammer so they can't get through, but you cannot make a indestructible wall. You can't hold hands. You can't, hug. They have to be able to break through, so don't do a multiplayer.
Jam star in her helmet for Durham Region Roller Derby, and fighting her way through to lead jammer for your Nickel City Roller Derby, Nichols and Dames in black. Number 22 is Wonder Woman. Siren, number 87, sent to the outside there. Big hit coming in that pack. Wonder Woman ultimately stopped by who else? Karma Screw-Ya, number 252, coming into turn number 2. If there was a point pickup, it was very, very small, but enough. We got...
Once again, taking her 4 points for Nichols and Dames, calling off the jam, denying the other jammer a chance to get to the pack and get any points there. Again, if you're just kind of tuning in and you're kind of confused as to what's going on, watch these skaters with the stars on their helmet. They are the jammers. For every opposing player they pass, after they've gone through the pack the first time, they're going to rack up points. So keep an eye on them for the whole game.
Out there to jam in black for Nickel City Roller Derby. Wild Wench forced to let her go. Your lead in black. Wearing the number 515 for the Nickel City Roller Derby, Nichols and Dames. It is Tough as Bales. Fighting her way right through, just inches. Cherry Bomb forced down and out there. We might see a change in strategy coming for Durham Region. Fighting her way around the outside. Tough as Bales, 515. But it's not all good news. It looks like Tough as Bales might be headed to the penalty box. Was running away with it and now is going to sit it out for 30 seconds. And we have a new jammer out there, it appears, for Durham Region Roller Derby. Wearing the 0260, that is Cherry Bomb. Your lone jammer on the track fights her way right to the inside, threads through on turn number 3. And cutting the track, she's going to go to the box too. Now you can't have 2 jammers in the box at the same time. So what's going to happen? Back on the track, Tough as Bales. 515 in black for Nickel City Roller Derby. Tough as Bales sent back. Looks like a big hit came in there. Wench 12-17 getting a big hit on Tough as Bales. Fighting through, Tough as Bales, coming out of turn number 4. A lot of chatter out there on the track. Full complement now, nobody in the box. Red Hot moving in for a big hit on Cherry Bomb. Red Hot number 2 in black for Nickel City. And finding her way past Hits and Bites. That is Tough as Bales. Hits and Bites, number 1101 in purple out there blocking right now for Durham Region. And that's another long one, ladies and gentlemen. A big hand for these players.
Another 2-minute jam because, again, the lead jammer got sent to the penalty box. There is no longer a lead jammer, so nobody can call it off. And again, if you're just kind of tuning in and you're wondering, first of all, what is a lead jammer? The first jammer through the first pack. They get through everybody first. They're the lead jammer. They're the only ones allowed to call off the jam by throwing their hands on their hips. And you'll know they're the lead jammer when the official, big L above their hand, pointing to the jammer.
Crush number 101 out there in black to jam, star in her helmet. For Nickel City, wearing the 1331 in purple, star in her helmet out there jamming for the Motor City Madams. That is Duchess of Carnage. You will see the referees call for the pack to be together. When players stray too far from the center of the action, they are declared out of play or non-pack situation, just as Crush 101 fights through out of turn 2 as your lead jammer for Nickel City, 101 in black. That is Crush. Duchess of Carnage sent to the inside. Booty Boop and Tia Ironass getting together to make that happen. Booty Boop trying to keep Duchess of Carnage back. Duchess of Carnage just pushing her way through. Rambo Bright among the players going down in that pack. Some heavy defense out there, and it is exhausting as this half wears on. But right now out there jamming, your lead jammer, 101 in black. That is Crush for Nickel City. Duchess of Carnage, 1331 in purple, trying to catch the pack, but Crush calls the jam.
And we've seen, we keep seeing kind of the score fluctuate. And again, this is a very quick game, and every point matters. One jam can really change the tide. So never think that one team has it above another team. Something else that we saw a couple jams ago was a directional penalty. You'll notice that all the skaters are skating in a counterclockwise direction. You can skate clockwise. You cannot hit an opposing player going clockwise. So if you do come in the opposite direction and you hit somebody, you're going to get a directional penalty. So that's what you've seen there. And yeah, it's we got a little bit of a break here. They are taping up the track to make sure that A, the officials can see the tape, B, the players can see the tape, but also too, we want to make sure that there's no tripping hazards out there. And you'll notice right now, I can see it on the screen too, this game is also fun. When there are breaks, the players can have fun. They're dancing. Half the time they're high-fiving each other, but as soon as that whistle goes, it's all business. So you'll see their faces change very quickly once the jam actually starts. But it is an amazing game. And if you ever want to learn more about roller derby, especially Nickel City Roller Derby, NCRD.ca. You'll find out how to learn more. You'll see photos, videos, and learn how to even sign up yourselves. Trust me, if you don't think you can play this game, you can. I've played it before, so you definitely can. Next jam kicking off in 5 seconds.
We're back on the track, everybody, with that timeout by Durham Region. 16-point spread between these teams in favor of Nickel City at the moment. 78 Demolition, star in her helmet in black out there to jam right now. The Nickel City Nickels and Dames. It is tough slogging through that pack, but fighting her way through is your lead jammer. Wearing the 101 in purple for Motor City. That is Spin Helly. Big hits coming in from Demolition. Spin Helly knocks to the outside. And after a big hit in the pack, it looks like Natitude, 14-14, and purple's going to head to the penalty box for 30 seconds. She will be joined by Ty Keela. And it looks like we got a star pass going on here, or do we just have a regain? No, it is a star pass. Your new jammer is Wonder Woman, but she doesn't have time. Spin Helly calls that jam, number 101 in purple. And that will close the gap ever so slightly.
And believe it or not, actually another couple penalties we haven't seen yet. One is a high block. Now, somewhere you cannot hit an opposing player is in the face. If you hit them above the shoulders, you are going to get a penalty. The other one we saw was a blocking out of play. If you are too far out of the pack, the second you are not in the pack anymore, you cannot keep blocking. If you hit, you're getting a penalty.
Red Hot number 2 right away. Fighting her way to the inside, sprinting through your lead jammer number 2 in black. For the Nickels and Dames, it is Red Hot. Wicked Wench, 12-17 in purple. Out there jamming right now for Durham Region. Threading the needle and calling that jam. Number 2 for Nickel City. It is red hot.
And again, doing the same thing, that very strategic move, making it through the pack, calling off the jam, trying to ensure that the other jammer doesn't get any points. The other jammer did get that 1 point, though, because remember, until those first 4 whistles go, you can still get points. So you just kind of book it and make it into the pack as quickly as possible. And again, every jam can last up to 2 minutes, but once it ends, 30 seconds between each jam, and another one starts just now.
More thread the needle out there. We do have a lead jammer. Looks like that's the Duchess of Carnage. Number 1331 in purple for the Motor City Madams. Melba Hay playing cat and mouse with her again. Duchess of Carnage. Forced to call that jam. We're going to have no score coming in from that one. No scoring pass made. Score remains 98 for the Nichols and Dames of Nickel City Roller Derby. 82 for the Motor City Madams of Durham Region.
And like I said, I mentioned that they can go as long as 2 minutes. They can be as short as, I think that one was just a few seconds long. The jammer got through. She was lead jammer. All of a sudden, Mel Behaved from the Nichols and Dames came right up behind her, and she goes, you know what? I don't want to get her any points. Call off the jam. Nobody gets any. Safe bet.
The 101 Spin Heli in purple doing the honor starter helmet jamming for the Motor City Madams. Fighting way to the outside, your lead jammer. Wearing number 22 in black for Nickel City, it is Wonder Woman. And threading the needle on the inside, Spin Heli, some impressive work coming through that pack. Number 101 in purple for the Motor City Madams. Wonder Woman sent back in the pack. That's going to force her to call the jam. I think that was Karma Scurria who got the big hit and defense going in there. We have...
And that is going to be halftime as we finish up a first half. Nichols and Dames lead 98 to 84. Not a huge lead, enough that this can change at any point. Actually, now it's gone up to 100 to 84 as we tally up the points from the last jam. So this is still anyone's game because one jam can definitely decrease that lead, it can increase that lead, anything can happen. 15 minutes of intermission between bouts and halves, and then we're going to come back for a second half, and we'll do it all over again.